What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Debate Room podcast. It's been a week since we put out an episode. Um, Kind of really inexplicable, but we're not. Um, right now it's just three of us. Max, I think he's driving back home or something, so he's not gonna be able to make it. But Bear Witness will be coming out um tomorrow or today, depending on when this episode gets dropped. So you'll see me and him on there. But before we get into the recaps and the games today, I got my boys Latif and Q. Y'all can say what's up.
What's up,
So
man? Uh, another week of exciting football. We had some upsets, some exciting games. I ain't gonna lie, that middle spot was low key boring. But we got some storylines to talk about. And so I'm just ready to get into that. I actually got like a paper due in like an hour, so I'm ready to just go ahead and get into it.
All right, cool. So Sunday night football game is Chiefs versus Falcons. The Chiefs end up winning 22-17. So, can you just tell me your thoughts on just how the game went?
uh it was pretty like lackluster. Like nobody really like had real control of the game. It was a lot of flags, a lot of dead plays, a lot of balls hitting the dirt, pause, no diddy. Uh in the end the Chiefs just do what they usually do, win a close game. Uh Partly not really due to them, really just bad play calling in the like the final seconds after they got into position to score again after crucial stop when they needed to. Falcons just they failed against a better team, a better coach team. I wouldn't say more prepared, but this Sunday anything can happen. They Chiefs squeak out a win. They stay undefeated. They still haven't played their best football. Mahomes hasn't played his best football like by far, and they still winning games. So it's like it's still kind of like gives nobody no real hope that anybody else gonna win this year. But it could have been a lot better. I kind of wish it was better. I kind of expected more, but it's like, hey, whatever.
For
Um,
me, you gonna go?
yeah, because I don't really have too much to say. Uh, Everything was kind of along the lines of what Q said. Um, I would just say it was a lot of mistakes. Um, I think towards the end they called like a screen that I didn't agree with. I don't know, for some reason I feel like the screens are getting like overutilized in positions where I just personally wouldn't call screen passes. But like you said, Q, we haven't seen the best football from Mahomes. Obviously, uh, Travis Kelsey hasn't really been implemented into the offense, um, and they're still squeaking out wins. So, um, I mean, the inevitable is Mahomes is gonna heat up. He's gonna start playing like he normally plays. So when it gets to that point, it's like, damn. And they're still right now they're 3-0. Um, so it's like literally verbatim what you said. It kind of gives everybody else no hope because it's gonna get to the point where things start rolling. I don't know if Kelsey is getting a little bit older. They did pay a lot of attention to him. That's kind of why she was able to do what he was able to do. But I feel like it's gonna get to a point where they just force feed him or get him involved, and then it's just gonna be the same old uh, KC offense. So yeah, it's not really too much I have to say about that game.
I didn't have too much to say about this game either. I wanted it to be better. It's a Monday night football game, a primetime game. You wanted the game to be a little more exciting, but it felt sloppy. It felt like both teams are rushed. To be honest, for the Chiefs, their running game was basically non-existent. They're missing Isaiah Pacheco a lot, even though I don't think he's like the greatest running back, but he just gives their running game life. They ran a lot. Well, I think his name is Carson Steele tonight, the rookie. Samaje Perine played a lot today, but Mahomes just looked like off off his spot. Like he doesn't usually play like this. Misreads, um, inaccurate passes. The scary thing about the Chiefs though is that they're nowhere near as good as they're going to be come playoff time right now, and they're still the best team in the league. They're still 3-0, and Travis Kelsey is not being productive. Xavier Worthy hasn't really been productive outside of week 1. The defense is playing really, really well, but I think they have another gear they can get to. This team is just a work in progress right now. And we're talking about a work in progress for a team that's just won back-to-back Super Bowls. So for me, I'm still supremely confident in them winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm supremely confident in their hopes this year because they're nowhere near as good as they're going to be. And they're still 3-0. They're still finding ways to win in different ways. And when you have a quarterback like Mahomes, you need to, prolong his prime and stuff like that. And the way Tom Brady, they just found so many ways to win. They had great defenses, and this is basically Mahomes' second year with a great defense. So if you are able to find ways to win games like this in the playoffs and in the regular season, it's just going to be better for you and for the dynasty or what they have going on right now. So not really worried. From the Falcons point of view, I didn't really think they played a terrible game. Bijan was not able to get it going. To be honest, the running game was not as good as it been through the first 2 weeks of the season. Kirk still looked. Kirk looked pretty good to me. Some throws you wish he could have made, like that Drake London fade when he cooked number 13 on the Chiefs. You wanted that to be a completion because that would have damn near been a touchdown. He made some big time throws. He evaded pressure a little bit tonight too. Like he looked fine. He didn't look great like he did in that final drive against the Eagles, but he's still getting his feet under him from missing the whole entire season. So I think he's gonna be fine through the season. I think the Falcons are gonna be fine. I think they're a good team. But as we see, the NFC South division is gonna be a lot more competitive than what I thought coming into the season. With the Saints being a pretty good team, the Buccaneers, they lost today to the Broncos. They're beat up, but it's still gonna be a very, very competitive division. And I think me and other people thought that this was the Falcons' division to lose when it might not even be that with this division. So that was my entire takeaways from that game. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't at all. It was a pretty below average Monday Night Football game. So it's not like we're not about to talk about it for 30, 45 minutes about that game. It really wasn't enough in there. I did though, because one person on either teams was Rashee Rice. He had a breakout game, not a breakout game, but he had a very good game tonight. So I wanted to do a star bench cut with Rashee Rice in it. So I got it for you guys. Start bench cut: George Pickens, Rashee Rice, and Drake London.
Me personally, I like the archetype of a bigger receiver. Obviously, I've been campaigning T. I really do like. I really like DK. It's just that he's underwhelming. Obviously he hooped today, but anyways, I like bigger receivers. I'll go Drake. I'll go Drake, Rashid, and then Pickens. I'm starting Drake, benching Rashid, and man.
I'd go the opposite. But it's for me, it's close. Because as a prospect coming out, Drake London like clears both of them. But as like based off like I know like 90% of what people get talked about is production. If that's what we're gonna base it off of, then I go Pickens. I'd start Pickens, bench Rashid, and then cut Drake London.
I think it's pretty close. This is a pretty close start bench cut. That's why I did it. It took us a second to get to this because we were trying to like give people.
Oh, let's not
whatever. I already know what you're gonna say.
Let's not say us. Let's not say us.
It took me a second. It took me a second to get this. To get to this because I try to get people all in the same tier. To be honest, and Rashee Rice is an interesting player. Like to gauge where you have him in the league. George Pickens, he started the year off hot, but like I don't know. It's like he has more years on his belt than Rashee Rice, but it's like it's not really special. Production is around the same for the first 2 years. Like the common 2 years they have together, its production is around the same. I think Rashee Rice. I don't think Rashee Rice is like an elite route runner, but I think he's better than George Pickens. I think George Pickens has better hands. I think he's a bigger and stronger. I think I like Rashee Rice after the catch more than George Pickens. So it's kind of hard. I am debating right now between George Pickens and Rashee Rice, though. I'm going to cut Drake London. But damn, I'm gonna start George Pickens. I'm gonna bench Rashee Rice, and I'm gonna cut Drake London. That's what I'm gonna do. And it's pretty close. It's not like Drake London is markedly worse than either of those two receivers, but I just feel most confident. I think the debate between me was between those two players, so that's what I'm gonna do. We can move on with that.
So obviously Bear Witness is coming out, so I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper tomorrow. But I kind of wanted to talk about um the Colts a little bit more. Um yeah. AR is like not it to me, bro. Like he shows flashes, like he has some moments where like, man, like he could actually be a decent player, like um he could be a decent player, but then other times it's just like the short intermediate passes, the passes that he should be able to make, it's like he's not able to make those throws, which is kind of insane because when it comes to taking the top off of the defense, it seems like he can do that with great accuracy sometimes. And then just like sometimes he makes boneheaded plays that I just don't understand. Um, yeah, I mean the Bears had ample opportunities to come out and win this game. Um, a defense that hasn't been able to stop the run 2 weeks prior, and we like couldn't establish the run at all. Um, DeAndre coming off a 1,000 yard, uh, 1,000 yard year with the Eagles. I don't know, man. Like it makes me think about Josh Jacobs a little bit more. It makes me think about Saquon because I feel like we actually had a chance. We had a chance at those two, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think the O line played terrible today. I know a lot of people like when you talk about the Bears, they like to um, point at the O line, but I don't think it was like abysmal. I think it's probably been the best it's been for like the whole season or three. I know it's only been 3 weeks into the season, but I mean, I liked how Caleb looked today. Obviously he had what 3 turnovers, 2 picks, and a fumble. Can't really say the fumble was on him, but the Roman and Caleb connection that's going to go very far. They're going to be a duo to be reckoned with in the next few years. Um, this was a game that I really wanted to win, but obviously we didn't. But to see Caleb progressing as a player, he still has his escapability. I thought that kind of would have got not ruined after the big sack that he took his first game. I thought he would be discouraged to kind of make plays like that, but it seems like he's still trying to do those type of things. But yeah, I'm kind of saving what I want to save for tomorrow. But definitely a disappointing loss. I thought we could have won this game. I thought we would be able to establish the run, and we didn't. And yeah.
You want to go?
I mean, y'all go. I mean, I don't know. I don't really think the Bears are a good team right now at this point. I don't think they're a good team. And the reason I say that is because obviously they have a great defense. Defense is the most ready. They're ready right now to compete for a Super Bowl. I think they have a. You don't think so?
No. They're still missing drastically on the D line.
If they creating pressure, sure, but I think I forgot. It's like number 98. He stepped. What's his name? I don't know his name. I think he was like
on the edge of the middle.
On the edge.
Walker?
No, not Sweat. No. What'd you say?
Walker?
Yeah.
Walker.
He's been better. I think he stood out for me in the first 2 games of the season. I think they have a good enough defense to where like if they had an actual great offense, they can definitely
Oh yeah, sure.
Right. So the defense is ready for me to right now to compete in the NFL. The offense, they have the names right now. Like I think DeAndre Swift is a decent back. Caleb Williams was heralded as a generational quarterback. They have Rome. They have Keenan Allen. It is their offensive line is holding them back so much where I think it's literally tanking them from being a good team.
Think you can say I don't think you can say the offensive line this game. I mean, to be honest, if I was to point fingers, the receivers weren't creating like any type of separation today. I mean, if I was going against the Bears right now, I mean, obviously Keenan is out and I would say DJ's kind of off to a slow start. But if I was to scheme up a defense against the Bears right now, I would literally stay in like a cover one look, man blitzes because our offensive line is terrible. I mean, I wouldn't even throw zones out there. I mean, we can't separate. We can't separate. So obviously, because Caleb had time, like he had time, but if the receivers aren't separating, then I mean you're gonna force us into tough positions. So the receivers just weren't separating at a point in time, and then play calling wasn't good. Obviously, we had a chance to score, and we were running a speed option. So it's like I know it's kind of easy to point the fingers at our O line, but I just don't think today it
I,
was
I
that
was talking
terrible.
about I was talking about an entire season look at this team. The interior offense line is terrible. It's not good at all. The center positioning is really really bad. So like they have the mechanism of a good team to me, like the Bears do, but they're not a good team. Caleb Williams right now is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. They have one of the worst offensive lines in the league. DeAndre Swift has been one of the worst running backs in the league as a result of that as well. And he's also just not that great either. I think last year he had a 1,000-yard season because the Eagles' offensive line was one of the best in the league. Um, their coaching is also terrible. And I think people thought Shane Waldron were going to be able to come in and be a lot better than what we have, which I have from Luke Getsby last year. And people gave him a lot of credit for Geno, what he was doing the last few years. So, but all in all, I don't think it's a good team at this point because of the offensive struggles. Y'all have the names on offense: Caleb, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen.
Keenan's hurt though.
I know, but I mean he's going to play this year for like more, and obviously with Keenan coming back, the offense is going to look good. But I don't think this team's going to make the playoffs anymore. I don't know if that's too far to say this early in the season, but because of now that we see the Vikings are a damn near elite. I don't even know what to call it right now. They're a very, very good team. That's going to be two tough games. The Packers without Jordan Love are going crazy. That's going to be two tough games. The Lions, two tough games. So it's like, I don't know if this team's still be able to make the playoffs with how they started, with how the offensive line looks, with Caleb having to learn and grow. He is getting better game by game. But I think the Bears, even I thought they had a chance to make the playoffs. So it's not like I'm pushing the blame on anybody, but I think they were a little bit overrated coming into the year by the media and all the fans for sure. Because I think people thought Caleb was going to come in, and even I thought Caleb was going to come in and be a lot better than what he is. I didn't think the offensive line was going to be as bad as it was, to be honest. It's really, really bad. So in hindsight, I mean, it's only 3 weeks into the season, but they probably shouldn't have drafted Roma Dunze. They probably should have tried to take an offensive lineman. Yeah.
I mean,
y'all didn't need another wide receiver. Let's be honest. Y'all didn't.
You didn't need Rome. You could have got and definitely should have probably got another wide receiver, but you didn't need Rome or Dunze per se. Like if you would have took Fuaga at what it was 9.
He got out for the season, right?
Nah, Fontenot was out for the season.
Oh, okay.
Fuaga is the one for the Saints who's playing left tackle for him. But if you would have drafted him, played him inside, and then or you could have traded down, got an extra pick because y'all ain't had that many picks this year anyway. You only had like 4. Could have got like an extra second rounder or a third rounder, and then got like a Jalen Polk or something like that, or Adonai Mitchell. You could have got one of those, and you would have still been fine. You would have got help on the O-line. You got another wide receiver because you don't necessarily need like a wide receiver one type player, which Roman Duze is, like his mold, like his size and whatnot. Like you would have just had another complimentary piece to DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. You would have been fine. The Bears, it's cool. I was high on them. Still kind of am.
Do you think they can make playoffs?
It's going to be tough. I still think they could probably still win 9 games. It's just a matter of like they got to hit their stride now because the back half of the season, like the schedule is brutal. This is still a rookie quarterback. I think like if a couple plays go different in the last 2 games, we're talking about a 3-0 team instead of a 1-2 team. It's okay. Like the defense has kept them in games. Caleb just has to find a way to put it together. Well, Shane Waldron has to call better plays. Like that's also a very big thing that's not going on. But I'm gonna let you do the Bears thing. The Colts side, I remember Anthony Richardson probably only has played, give or take, 20 games in the past 5 years. Like he hasn't had no real action in 5 years. So it's like he's still technically like super. Like we know he's super raw. Uh, I'm not going to say make try to absolve him all the blame. Shane Steichen also has to be better at calling plays for him, whether it be for him or just having Jonathan Taylor run the ball. Him being your best offensive player, having him just do what he does. Hopefully that opens up things for Anthony Richardson, so it's not like super hard for him, because it seems like he's trying too hard to process easy things that I don't think like he should be trying hard to do. But I think that's gonna come with time. Like maybe it's a failed season. Like you might have to just chalk this up as a developmental season for Anthony Richardson and just keep it at that instead of a ready to compete. Because I'm pretty sure like the outside world plus a lot of them themselves probably think they could have competed this year because of how they played last year. But this is a very different play styles. Almost it's kind of the same team, but it's still like you dropping a new quarterback and then basically a rookie quarterback. You can't expect a rookie quarterback to try and just hit the ground running. So they just have to deal with their lumps. I don't think this is like cause for concern, because these are things everybody knew coming in anyway. So I think they just got to give some time.
When people were projecting the Colts this season, I know a lot of them. Some people had them winning the division. Some people had them winning about 9 games or so, possibly making the playoffs, being one of the best offenses in the league. And I think they counted on Anthony Richardson being better than Gardner Minshew. And truthfully, right now, I don't really know if he is. He obviously is a elite threat in the running game, but he simply can't make the easiest passes that quarterbacks should be able to make in the NFL. I saw a tweet today that said Anthony Richardson can make 99%. Anthony Richardson can make passes that 99% of the NFL can't make. And under that, it said Anthony Richardson can't make 99% of the passes that most NFL quarterbacks can make, because he can make the wild plays. He can make the about to fall down, get back up, throw a 60-yard bomb. But if you need him to make a 7-yard slant or a 10-yard dig, he can't do it. Like, he's missed wide open players. His decision making is really poor. He's just not there yet. And so when people were projecting for them, they thought, oh, Shane Steichen, great offensive coordinator. They did last year with Gardner Minshew, who is a backup level quarterback. And right now, he's just not better than what Gardner Minshew is right now for you, because he can game manage. And because AR ceiling so high, what he can do as far as a playmaker and making plays, the highs are really high. The lows are really, really low right now. And even his high so far for his maybe career or the season was 9 for 22, which was really still inefficient. He made a lot of the big plays, but right now I don't think Anthony Richardson is a good player, to be honest. But he can get there. There's still a lot of the season left. And if Shane Steichen if anybody can fix him, it's Shane Steichen. He helped Jalen Hurts be his best year of his career. I'm not even going to, because we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts later, but yeah, I was about to say something crazy, but yeah. So,
all right, moving on to the Packers. 2-0. 2-0 with 2-0 with Malik Willis. Like I said, yeah, I mean, they beat the Colts, which I said isn't a scary defense to go against. They beat the Titans, which I said they would be overrated on defense, which I still think they are. Not a top 10 defensive unit. The thing is, I know a lot of people. Let me just put it out on the table. So when Jordan Love got hurt, a lot of people started panicking. Obviously they said that he was going to be out like 4 or 5 weeks, something like that, and people were kind of chalking it up to say that the Packers season was done. And I've seen it firsthand. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit different because we didn't really have any hopes or aspirations to win last year. But I've seen Tyson Bagent come in and win 2 games for us. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of magic from your offensive coordinator. Game plan has to be a little bit different. But I thought if you could be a little bit conservative on the offensive end, run the ball, throw some check downs, some screen passes, it'll work. in the first game against the Colts. That's kind of what you saw a little bit. Kind of got a little creative. LaFleur got creative with the runs, with the screens, just different looks. But this game, I would obviously LaFleur is putting Malik in great positions to succeed. But I would say that this game was kind of on Malik. Like he has some throws where like, wow, like it's a total difference from what he was in Tennessee. Like he kind of opened it up a little bit. Like he kind of trusted his arm a little bit more. I felt in the first game they were just running the ball, a lot of checkdowns, a lot of screens. Obviously, they still kind of have that game plan coming into this game, but it seemed like it was a little bit more trust within Malik's arm. Um, so yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a doubt with the Packers. Obviously, they get Love back. What, like next week? They're expecting him to come back next week, something like that.
I think it depends on who he was definitely practicing and he was warming up. So I think it depends on who they're playing. Aren't they playing a really good team? Let me go look. Packers schedule. They're playing a good team, so he might come back. I think they're playing the Vikings. They are playing the Vikings. Yeah.
Yeah. I said Malik can come in, manage the games. The defense is going to be good enough to where they can win you some games, and that's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing. Obviously, they go against a Titans offense that doesn't really have much. I don't want to call him Levis trash because there's some times where Levis looks like a competent quarterback. Like he's
trash, bro.
No. I'm not gonna lie. He gives me AR vibes. Like it's some throws that he makes. Like he threw a back shoulder to D Hop.
Yeah, Will Levis for 80% of a game looks fine. It's the 4 plays a game that he does something incredibly stupid that wipes out the 80% of the game, the part that he was doing well. You watched him on his first drive, go down the field, score easy touchdown. Everything was clockwork. It looked beautiful. The very next drive that he got on offense, 1 play, pick 6. And then it literally wiped away that whole very good drive that he had literally a minute beforehand. That's the only problem. To your point, the Titans defense is still performing as a top 10 defense. It's where they're getting the ball. And, like the Packers
He's been sarcastic, by the way. He's being sarcastic. He don't think the Titans are a top 10 defense. He think they're overrated. That's what he was. He's been sarcastic.
No, I do think they're overrated.
I'm saying they're still a top 10 defense.
I know. I'm with you. I'm talking about Jaden, by the way.
The Packers got the ball in their own territory. The Jets were getting the ball in their own territory. Like that's why you're able to score easy touchdowns. You got 30 yards to go instead of driving 70 yards of the field. But on average, if you don't get a turnover from Will Levis, you're gonna have to go up and down the field, and you're not gonna be able to do it against the defense. That's just what it is. It's just Will Levis is so bad, and he turns the ball over in his own area that the other team is getting easy looks, and boom, there you go. We saw a whole drive where Malik Willis had to go the whole length of the field, and he couldn't because the Titans defense is good. When your quarterback is bad and puts you in bad spots, you're gonna get scored on. That's just what it is. I can't really do anything about that. The Packers, whether they had Jordan Love or not, I still had them as like a 8-9 win team. They look cool. I don't think it's just gonna suddenly be even better when Jordan Love comes back because he's still coming off injury. You don't know how that's gonna happen, especially if somebody has to kind of move around and navigate the pocket and whatnot. It can re-aggravate, do something else. I'm not hoping for that, but you can't just rush him back. But the schedule is about to start getting real hard, so it's best to have your quarterback in now. For the Titans, Will Levis got about 2 more games till they pack him up. They could, get a better pick. They could, if they want to compete, they could put out Mason Rudolph, but they're kind of too low right now to even try to make a playoff push. So they might as well stick with Will Levis for the rest of the year and just call it what it is and move on from him. They moved on from a quarterback they drafted before. They could do it again.
No, Will Levis, and I'm not even trying to slander him, but he's just – matter of fact, let me start with this. As far as the Packers, and I doubt – hold on, my bad, y'all. I've been sick.
Ew.
My bad.
Anyway, he doesn't go to the camera for nothing. You crazy,
bro. I want to start by saying, me and Jaden debated this topic in the chat. Is some of my nose? No, bro.
No.
Me and Jaden debated this topic in a chat, and he said that I don't know if he said they're going to win both of these games, but I definitely know he said they weren't going to go. They weren't going to lose every game while Jordan Love was out. We were talking about 4 games. So for that, I was wrong on that, right?
I highlighted the Colts and the Titans games specifically.
Okay, you did. As far as
I don't want to cut you off, and on that part too, it ain't like the Packers did. They I don't think like you could take your victory lap, and I told you to take your victory lap because you was right. But I'm pretty sure that's more on how bad Anthony Richardson and Will Levis are than the Packers actually doing something to win the game. I think Anthony Richardson and Will Levis are just ass.
I disagree. Honestly, after this stretch without Jordan Love, I'm way more confident in the Packers. I do believe in them now as a contender. I'm not gonna lie. They have a really, really good team. They have a really good team. They have really, really good play calling. This defense stepped up when they were looking sketchy in week 1, and that's why I had the concerns about them going without Jordan Love. But the defense looks better, even though they went against 2 bad offenses, basically. But I think they have the personnel to be a good defense. Offensively, they don't have superstars, but Mike LaFleur is doing Matt LaFleur is doing such a good job with this offense, with the running game, which is still going to be there when Jordan Love comes back. And their passing game is going to be a lot better when Jordan Love comes back, when he gets healthy. So this team is dangerous. I think they're in that tier with the Lions and the Eagles and the 49ers too a little bit because of their coaching and because of their roster. They have a really good roster. They do. And with them being still competent with Malik Willis, who before this stint, we thought he might be a 3rd-string quarterback in the league, making him look competent. He was completely higher than 60% of his passes on a low volume, obviously, but he's looked like a competent quarterback in these last 2 weeks. And against the Titans defense, who I think is really good, you got to give him that credit. So I'm higher on the Packers after this, and I do think they are a dangerous team in the NFC, especially in the NFC that's basically wide open right now with the 49ers victories.
I don't think it's wise to be higher on them beating worse competition that self-sabotage themselves, especially when we saw them play against a team that you said they might be in a tier in and they lost. And Jordan Love did not look good. You want to say it's week 1, whatever. But
that's 5. It was still a game.
The Eagles, I don't think there's some crazy contender, and they beat the Packers not handily, but they beat the Packers. And Jalen Hurts was bad. He wasn't good that game, and they still beat him. I don't think they have you could say they don't have the number 1, and it's more dangerous because we don't know who's getting the ball. I think that's to their own detriment because they don't have no their talent is not does not match up against these other teams that because Philly got their own problems, the 49ers got their own problems, Detroit got their own problems, Cowboys got their problems, everybody got their problems, and yet they still don't match up on a talent basis. Eventually, the floor gonna fall out from beneath them. They're not gonna be able to compete because coaching can only get you so hard. So so far, you still need the requisite talent. I don't think they have the talent to compete with similar talented or better teams in the playoffs if and when they get there. I just don't. I think I'm gonna take the 49ers. I'm gonna take the Lions. I'm gonna take the Eagles. I'm gonna take me personally. I'll still take the Cowboys. I think if you play that game 10 times out of 10, I still think they win more games. They have the better quarterback. They got the better defense. You want to say they have a better offense?
I don't think there's a big gap at all between Dak and Jordan Love at all.
Doesn't have to be.
And I also think, again, I think this is a matchup issue. I think the scheme that they ran last year and the scheme that Matt LaFleur runs.
It's not really a scheme. It's just running the ball. They open it up by running the ball. The Dallas can't stop the run. That's
still gonna be a thing. They're running.
That's not something. Somebody's getting out coached. That's just a fundamental flaw in the way the team is built. That for Dallas, not they're getting out coached on at all. That's not what's happening. Not getting out schemed out nothing. They just don't have the personnel. If they had the personnel,
they still have the personnel now, and I would still take.
We've seen that today. They got ran all over this week, and they got ran on last week. If you can run the ball, you're gonna have success. I don't think the Saints are a better team than the Cowboys, but they can run the ball. I personally don't think the Ravens are that great of a team this year, but they could run the ball. If you can run the ball, any team that can run the ball is probably going to have success against the Cowboys this year. That don't make them a better team.
Well, when we talk about the potential matchup in the playoffs, I would still favor the Packers. They did kill them last year.
And if they do and they run it again, they're probably going to load the box, and now Jordan Love is probably going to just have to throw it to one of those receivers. And if that's how they win, that's how they win. But I would take my chances. You trying to give all your targets to Dontavian Wicks than I would if you give it to Aaron Jones and or Josh Jacobs, who it is now, because obviously that's the name that's going to kill you. They're going to produce. I'd rather take my luck with the wide receiver 3 than the running back 1 every single time. That just makes sense.
I don't know. We've seen the Cowboys a few times over the past years have pivotal games where they just miss assignments and don't do the fundamentals as they literally said.
Yeah, and every team that's handily beat them in the playoffs, the last 3 times have been able to run the ball because they don't have the personnel. One being when they're going to run the Micah Parsons side, because Micah Parsons is not very good at stopping a run. He misses assignments, or he overjumps everything all the time, and they abuse that all the time. Like I said, it's not always one person is always fucking up. They literally target Micah Parsons in the run all the time. You watch that today. Like, it always happens in the playoffs because they can't stop the run. They know the weakness on the line. They're not running to take Lawrence side. They're running a Micah Parsons side because he can't do it.
And I think that's going to be a thing. That's not nothing that's going away. I will take them over the Packers. Over the Cowboys again.
Sure, I'm always going to ride with talent. I think talent's going to help them win. I don't think the Eagles can't stop the run, but I know the Eagles are more talented, and I still would take the Eagles to beat them, as we've seen them do. I don't think just because you can't stop the run, that doesn't mean you're going to get beat every single time. Eventually, the talent is going to prevail.
Okay. What did the Eagles stop the run today?
Yeah, sort of, kind of.
It was a very, very low scoring game. Alvin Kamara had 87 yards. They had 89 rushing yards. So, compared to what the Saints were doing first 2 games, we'll talk about it later, but yeah. They stopped the run. Oh, wait. Yeah, I got to no, wait. We didn't get there yet. Never mind. Go ahead, Jay.
All right, Vikings dominate the Texans. I didn't really watch this game. I think this was on when the Bears were playing. Honestly, when the Bears play, I don't watch any other team. I got locked in to the Bears, but from what I saw, Sam Darnold has literally just been cooking past 3 weeks. They get a big win against the Niners. They beat the Texans. Like, they're beating some really good teams. So I don't know. This division is it's going to get a little bit murky. It's going to get a little bit murky. But I don't really have too much to say. I got to see what happened in that game.
I think the Vikings are a quarterback away, and I know Sam Darnold is having an amazing season right now, especially for his standards. But outside of that, this team is really, really good. They don't have great defensive personnel, but they have a great defensive play caller. They have great offensive personnel, a great offensive play caller. I think they are just a quarterback away from actually being a contender in that contender tier in the NFC. They're going to need J.J. McCarthy to be a good quarterback for this team to actually get there. But Kevin O'Connor has arguably looked like the best coach in the league this season. Brian Flores has looked like the best defensive mind in the NFL this season. I thought the first 2 weeks may have been a fluke, but when they came in and dominated the Texans like that, it was insane. They completely shut down their entire offense. I thought C.J. Stroud and their offense is going to be a little bit more ready for that, but I don't know why, because they've been struggling a little bit through the first couple of weeks. But the Vikings defense is looking elite right now. Jettis still him. Their offense is still churning, and they're making Sam Darnold look like a good quarterback. And I think he's probably below average. But Kevin O'Connell in that system is making things simple for him, and he's making some big-time throws as well. So we got to give him the credit for that. Aaron Jones is still a great running back. So this team, I think, could be ready as soon as next year. It is what kind of quarterback play they're going to get. And I'm not expecting Jay McCarthy in basically his rookie season to be having him as a contender. But if he can put on his Brock Purdy pants, then, something can happen. Because I think this team is ready. Basically what they're showing.
I don't know on his Brock Purdy pants. I mean, he's literally he's literally getting the job done. Like,
I think Purdy offers a bit of playmaking juice. He offers a bit of playmaking juice.
Sam Darnold's what? Huh?
He offers a bit of playmaking juice outside the pocket and stuff, and scrambling and stuff.
Sam Darnold offers that same playmaking juice that Birdie does, but better. Like he's literally a better playmaker than Brock Purdy.
I don't agree with that. I haven't seen that at all.
He always has been extremely talented. He can make all the throws. He can move.
I'm not talking about extremely talented. I'm talking about like as far as like all talent and stuff like that. I'm talking about that's I've never seen Sam
Darnold does that better than Purdy.
I've never seen him do that ever in his career.
Like, you're saying him do it, yeah.
I just don't get the idea of saying we're a quarterback away, but the quarterback we have right now is playing great.
He's playing great, but I genuinely think he's playing great, but I genuinely think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. I don't think Sam Darnold is. I think this guy is
below average, and coaching is making him look good, but he's also making great passes. Like, I just don't see how
he did some great passes. You just saw Andy Dalton come in today and make some really, really good passes today. But do you think he's a good quarterback or a good quarterback? No.
I mean, that's different. I mean,
why?
Obviously he's not going to be the quarterback of the future. I mean, we're going to get in that a little bit later.
Darnold's not either. They have a quarterback waiting right there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but I just don't think you can say they're a quarterback away when you're getting great quarterback play right now. And obviously, like you said, Aaron Jones is still a great back. The defense is still hooping. I mean, I just don't think you can say they're a quarterback away when you have a quarterback that's stepping up and like
what you're looking for is for like what the quarterback is gonna do when the play calling is not working or when the scheme is not there or the defense has everything shut down. They're looking for the quarterback that's gonna still figure it out when all that like when your best weapons is out, your O-line not fully put together, your defense is letting up points. Who's the dude that's gonna negate all of that? That's what you're looking for. Sam Darnold's not that dude. Neither is Andy Dalton, neither is Kirk Cousins, neither is Brock Purdy. Those are not those type of dudes. You're looking for that 8 and up. Like, you're looking for those type of dudes because they negate all those other things. Like, I don't need perfect play calling for Josh Allen to be effective. I don't need perfect play calling for Lamar Jackson to get 7. I don't need perfect play calling for Matt Stafford to make a play. Like,
that's why they That's why. But I don't know if JJ can be that. But I wasn't really high on him coming out of the draft at all. To be honest, he was like.
I would say the Lions are a better team. Would you consider them being a quarterback away?
Yes. But Jared Goff is not good enough to win you a Super Bowl. He's not. Jared Goff has been bad to start the year. Well, not bad. Like he's been okay. Like I think he has 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and like
Jared Goff could get you to a Super Bowl. There's a bunch of quarterbacks that could get you to a Super Bowl. Like Jared Goff, I know for a fact can get you to a Super Bowl. I know that.
He's done it already.
Yeah, I know Brock Purdy could get you to a Super Bowl. There's other players that haven't been there that I know can get you to a Super Bowl. But that doesn't mean you can win the Super Bowl. We watched Brock Purdy get to a Super Bowl. And you could say, yeah, he was an overtime away from winning, but there was a whole lot of plays that he missed that allowed him that made them basically lose that game. You're looking for that when all them things fail, when you get to the brink of it, you're against the Chiefs, it's OT, play calling is all the way there, that got you this far, but now the play calling is not working anymore. You saw in OT, like in the fourth quarter in OT, Brock Purdy pretty much was non-existent. What him being on the field did not matter. That's why you need the extra oomph in quarterback, and that's what probably propels them over, the Chiefs. If you had one of the top 8 quarterbacks playing in that spot instead of a top 15 quarterback, you win that game handily.
I get
that you're trying to fix.
I get that, and that makes total sense. But to your point, Chief just said if JJ can come in and be a game manager like Purdy, then this team could
be in the same spot.
Yeah, I'm saying they'd be in a contender. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. And I think
what he's saying is essentially what he's saying though is essentially you're basically saying that the Vikings are a contender right now because
No, I don't
you're saying JJ you're asking JJ to come in and do something that Sam Darnold's already doing right now today.
I don't see. I don't think a Sam Darnold and a Brock Purdy are on the same level at all. I actually consider Brock Purdy a good quarterback because in spots,
Sure. But
he
you know what who was doing a year ago?
Stuff like that, huh?
You know what everybody was doing a year ago when Brock Purdy was the Sam Darnold. In this case, is Sam Darnold is doing it, but I don't think he's up here because he's only been doing it for this stretch amount of time. Like you've seen this small sample size of Sam Darnold doing it, and you don't really believe it. Same thing with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was doing it for a small sample size of time, and people weren't really believing it until he does it again and again. But as long as he has this play call and this team, he's saying, "Oh, it's pretty much going to do this week in, week out." He might have some ups and downs here and there, one bad game here, one bad game there, because he's still not elite of the elite, but he's probably still going to put up, perform like pretty much the same way throughout the season. What you can't really say nothing if he does it for a full 17 games, and that's just what it is. You asking JJ to come in and do something that Sam Darnold is doing right now, like it's not no real difference.
I'm not. First, I had to see Sam Darnold do it for a full season. It's only
you're asking for longevity. You're not really asking for an upgrade in skill set. You're just looking for longevity. It's not nothing different. Like if Sam Darnold performs like this for the next 2 years, you'll say he's just about where Brock Purdy is, just because he has the longevity. Like that's it. It's not like an upgrade in skill or nothing like that. It's just reps.
Sure. And what I'm saying is, we already know that he's not the quarterback for the future for this team. So we know that he's not the quarterback. We know they need a quarterback, and they need to get into to winning the Super Bowl. They're gonna need JJ to be a bit better than what I think he could be in this league. But to get into that, and stay in this contender tier, because I don't know, I think this might be the high of what Sam Darnold can do for the Vikings. I don't know if this is sustainable at all, to be honest. He had a terrible situation with the Jets, but even in the first 2 weeks of the season, I've seen some questionable decisions from him. Which he was doing on the Jets as well. Obviously a lot more frequently, and he's being able to be a game manager in the system. But I want to see this over a full 17-game season, because there is a possibility that he could drop off from what he's doing right now. He's having an amazing season right now. We got to see if that is going to continue when teams have more film, when the stakes get higher later in the season, when it's time to play for the playoffs. We got to see all that stuff. This is still still the beginning of the regular season. So as far as, especially with him, with his track history, I don't want to overreact and be like, he can be. I'm not saying y'all saying that crazy for him being a game manager, but I want to see it for the entire season because of his history in his league right now. So I think people were giving that caution to Geno, and people were so out there one season, but I think he was far less scheme dependent, to be honest. So that's my thoughts on it. Oh, I do have a KLC would you rather, because he's been one of the best coaches in the league. So I took the names off. Damn. Let me see. Can I put it back? All right. Would you rather Kevin O'Connell or this head coach? First name up, Matt LaFleur.
Give me Kevin O'Connell. It's pretty even. I mean, like it's like a toss up. But for the first 3 years, at least he had Matt LaFleur had Aaron Rodgers, so like it was kind of like questionable. Last year, he did what he did with Jordan Love. Rocky first half, and then a good second half, and then now in the beginning, it looks like it wasn't really a fluke. But I watched Kevin O'Connell do it with lesser quarterback talent. Like he had Kirk Cousins, but that's still like a notch below Aaron Rodgers when we talking about back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers. And then at the back half of last year, he was doing it with whoever at quarterback, and now he's doing it with cast-off Sam Darnold. So I'm gonna just give the edge to Kevin O'Connell.
I'm gonna say LaFleur right here. Just talking about this season, I feel like the Vikings, and especially now that Jordan Love is hurt, not too many people thought Malik could step in and win some games, and then we just see a play calling masterclass, some stuff that Lafleur has been able to draw up. So yeah, I'm gonna take Lafleur right now.
I'm going to take Matt LaFleur as well. I think what he's doing right now with Malik Willis, his running game, play calling is at an all-time level. And I think it's also his track record is a little bit better. I know he had Aaron Rodgers like that, but he still has some top offenses. Like when he got subbed in for Mike McCarthy, you saw the offense become a bit more intricate, better to be honest. And I think that's because Mike McCarthy was running simple stuff, and I think he put in pre-snap motion for Aaron Rodgers, even though it was still not the greatest. But his play calling is elite. He's doing it right now with Malik Willis, who is even a worse cast off than Sam Darnold because he was a third string QB, like he was drafted in the third round, like he clearly not as talented as Sam Darnold. Yeah, and he's leaning on the rushing game, and they got two good wins in my opinion. But I'll take Matt LaFleur. Next name up is Mike McDonald.
Give me Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, I'll probably take O'Connell.
I'm gonna take Kevin O'Connell too. Both are great offensive minds, but again, Kevin O'Connell has done it over the past 2 seasons without great quarterback play. And I think he's probably a better schemer. Because we haven't really, Mike McDaniel was held back by Tua, I think, because you can't really call some plays because his limited ability to stretch the field with his arm and stuff like that. So I don't know, but I'm still gonna take Kevin O'Connell though. I do think if he had a better quarterback though, Mike McDaniel would look like he would look crazy. Next name up, Kevin Stefanski.
His play calling, it doesn't work. Like I don't want to say it doesn't work. Like it's cute.
He doesn't know how. He's not very good at adjusting.
I think Tua limits him. Like so, when they take away,
he also doesn't know when to adjust. Like
the motion, and all the trickery. It looks good, but I mean, like when it comes down to it, I just think that it just doesn't work.
When it comes down to it,
when that shit doesn't work, he don't know how. He doesn't have another button to push. Like specifically in Bills matchups, Sean McDermott has had him in check. All the cute stuff just doesn't work. Like you see it all the time. Like he doesn't know how to pivot, know when to change it up or anything like that. It's like the same thing. Every time when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. He doesn't know how to get the win without doing all that other stuff. And maybe that's because of the quarterback. But then it's up to you to figure out a way to get around that, unless you have a superstar quarterback.
Tua is limited. Like if you take away the sideline, it's like really nothing he can do. And you take away those in-breaking routes, it's nothing he can really do. And he can't really extend plays. He doesn't have a big arm, so it's like I don't know. I agree with you.
Get around that. I watched Sean Payton get around that with Drew Brees like the last 3 years, who couldn't throw the ball like more than 10 yards. Like if you're a good play caller, you'll figure out a way. He's doing it right now, kind of with Bo Nix, who's also.
I'm taking Kevin O'Connell though. I mean, I agree with y'all. I don't know. We got to see. Maybe they'll get a better quarterback. Next name up is Kevin Stefanski.
This is also very close to me. Same style of coach, same kind of scheme, same system. They both had Kirk Cousins. They both had great years with Kirk Cousins. Kevin Stefanski won the Browns their first playoff game in like forever. Got to the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco. DTR. 2-time Coach of the Year winner. I go Kevin O'Connell slightly just because he's newer, and I think it's kind of not that it's getting stale with Kevin Stefanski, but I don't know how long he'll be able to keep his job. Not for no fault of his own, though.
I mean, what Stefanski did last year was kind of crazy. I mean, you lose Chubb. I mean, Deshaun wasn't good.
Garbage.
Yeah. and then you get old Joe Flacco. You make it to the playoffs. You win a playoff game. I mean, I don't know. I think that says a lot. I'll probably go Stefanski here.
I'm gonna go Stefanski. Last year, what he did with the Browns, it was incredible. Um, Also, the Baker year when they went to the playoffs, incredible. Uh, Being able to suffer that many losses and keep the team together, as far as being a leader of man as well, not only as a play caller. I'm gonna go Kevin Stefanski for that. Next name up is D'Amico Ryans.
Kevin O'Connell. I'm always gonna lead offense like an offensive minded coach, especially with a quarterback, like a great quarterback, because that pairing is very important to the development. Uh, D'Amico Ryans is cool. We got to see it again. Especially, we're probably gonna have. I probably really want to see it after Bobby Slowick leaves and get another job, because he's eventually gonna get like a coaching look. Because I don't know, like he's doing a good job, also leader of men, all that. But I think like the hype of the Texans more so on the offense. I don't really know how much he has to do with that. The defense is cool. Like they're still a work in progress, but like I said, I don't know how much he has to do with the overall like hype of the Texans when it's based off their offense, and he doesn't really coach the offense.
Yeah, I would have to agree. First off, I don't. We haven't seen it long enough. Obviously, you come in with a rookie quarterback, and uh, I guess looking back at it, you didn't think that they had the weapons that they had at the time. But we just haven't seen it long enough. So I'm gonna go O'Connell here.
I'm also gonna go Kevin O'Connell. He's a better play caller. And I agree with Q. Offensive play calling over defensive play calling. Haven't seen it long enough, like Jaden said. There was also that was also something else. I forgot. D'Amico, like you said, you got to see it without Bobby Slowick. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know because like it offense get worse. Is that on him? But he don't got the Kevin O'Connell got more in his resume and his stuff like that too. So last name is Shane Steichen.
Steichen.
Uh, Same thing. This is his first shot at being a head coach. He had a good showing, 9-8. Passed away from making the playoffs with Gardner Minshew. Uh, Kevin O'Connell, for the same reason, like Shane saying, he's responsible for like a lot of like best year. Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert had his best year with Shane Steichen, Gardner Minshew, like I said. But Kevin O'Connell, he's doing it like as the leader. Like he's done it as the leader like twice now. Like this is Shane Steichen still like it's still kind of fresh, and right now it's kind of leaving a sour taste in my mouth because he's not really doing a great job with this Colts team through the first 2 weeks.
That's true. Oh yeah, that kind of swayed me. Yeah, I would have to go with O'Connell, especially just off of what's going on with the Colts. But I don't know. I think that's more of a Richardson problem, bro. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think they could probably call some more design runs a little bit for him. Like I think even this game, it was only like they didn't. He didn't have many. He didn't have many where I thought he should have been able to run the ball a little bit more. Um, Against the Packers, I don't think there was a lot of design runs for him either. So I don't know. But that kind of did sway me. Right now, I don't think that he's. I don't want to say he's doing a poor job. But I feel like he could do a little bit better with Richardson. Kind of utilize him a little bit better. So I'm gonna go O'Connell.
This is hard. Shane Steichen is a great play caller. He has maximized 3 quarterbacks in his league. Got it done last year with Gardner Minshew. It's tough. I'm gonna go Kevin O'Connell. I think the track record is longer as a head coach. You could argue that maybe Shane Steichen is a better play caller as far as like adapting to what your quarterback needs. He's also done it with 2 different type of quarterbacks. Justin Herbert being just a pocket passer, and Jalen Hurts being a dual threat, and Anthony Richardson being a dual threat. Um, so being able to call plays for different types of archetypes of quarterbacks, which is important. But I think Kevin O'Connell as a head coach's resume is better as far as right now. So I'm going to Kevin O'Connell. He's right. Kevin O'Connell is probably that top 5, top 6 quarterback in the league right now. To be honest, and he can go higher depending on what the year holds. So that's all I got though for the Vikings, Jay.
All right, so moving on. Panthers had a great showing against the Raiders. Obviously, Bryce Young, this was his first game. Um, Not being the starting quarterback, Andy Dalton took the reins. Just had a dominant showing. I had the stats pulled up. Let me pull them up again real quick.
I think he had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Let me get the exact. I literally just had it pulled up, bro. Let me see. Yeah. 26 for 37, 319, 3 touchdowns. The passing game they had a spark on the passing game. In the running game, they had a spark. Looked like none of that was there. Deontay had a great game. I was calling him mid to start the season. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this does for Bryce. I mean, this is his second year. He got benched. Andy Dalton comes in and he shows that this team, I didn't think that they had the weapons, uh, but he got it done. So I don't know what this does for his confidence. I saw him in press conferences and it looked like he was taking it well. Uh, Getting benched, obviously, he was taking accountability for his poor play. He understood why he got benched, but I just don't know. Is it over for Bryce? I mean, um, they got a new GM. This GM didn't draft Bryce, so I mean, like again, you kind of I don't want to say you sold your franchise, but you made a lot of franchise altering moves for Bryce. So do you just give up on him? It's his second year. It's been a year and a half. I can't even say it's been a year and a half because haven't even reached that half mark. So what is what does Bryce in Carolina look like? Like, do you give him another shot later on in the year if Andy just goes back to being terrible? What does it look like next year? Do you look to draft another QB? Like, I just don't know. I don't know what it looks like.
If I was them, I'd draft another QB. I'd trade Bryce Young, get whatever you could get for him. It's twofold. Like they ain't do much for him, but he ain't do much for himself either. Obviously Andy Dalton coming in, he's a veteran quarterback. Veteran quarterbacks, they've seen all the coverages, seen all the looks, all the disguises, all like this Andy Dalton. He's been a Pro Bowler before. He knows what to do. He could throw the ball. He could read a defense. The Raiders aren't like, I don't think they're that good of a team that think like a veteran quarterback can go in there and carve them up. And that's pretty much what he did. Bryce Young, he just doesn't offer the same like juice that Andy Dalton does right now. Obviously his upside should be better than Andy Dalton, but upside is not getting him a win right now today on this Sunday. Is just experienced quarterback playing. He just doesn't have that right now. Also his own like just him as a a player just going to be hard for him to succeed anyway, based off size, mobility, arm strength. This and the third is just not really cutting out. If he gets into a different system, like if he was in Miami, I think he'd be able to produce with different coaching and that type of like skill position around him. But not everybody's going to be able to be lucky to get dropped in with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle or Christian McCaffrey. So it's like you got to deal with what you could deal with.
Before you go, Teef, it was actually kind of funny because I get like he is pretty short, but like seeing the like actual like evidence of him like making jump passes, like having to jump to get over linemen is actually pretty crazy. It's actually pretty crazy.
He's dead like 5'8", bro. Like he really is like 5'8".
Yeah,
he's
not
5'10". I don't know where Bryce goes from here, honestly. I came into the season. My agenda for the season was Bryce Young is going to break out, and he's going to show why he was the number 1 overall pick. And 3 weeks in, that looks like one of the worst takes of the year. He's terrible. I don't know what to say. You can't really blame the Panthers anymore. You can't say they didn't try for him or they didn't surround him with good enough talent for him to succeed or coaching. Because we just watched Andy Dalton who is ancient and average at best, dropped 300 yards and 3 touchdowns on a Raiders team that just beat the Ravens last week. So there's no more excuses. The fact of the matter is he's terrible reading the field. His pocket presence is terrible. He's a 5'8" quarterback with average arm strength, average athleticism, and that's just not going to get it done. And I hope he can revive his career like we've seen Sam Darnold do a little bit this year, and Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith, maybe in another space. But I don't know how he gains his confidence back after he's watching what we just watched on Sunday. Maybe he can try to learn from. Maybe he can like reverse his development and sit behind a veteran QB and learn something from watching him every week. Maybe, but I just don't know how with David Tepper as the owner and the embarrassment from the franchise. This franchise, no one's coming to these games. Their tickets are like $5. Like, it's pressure on this organization from the NFL, from inside the organization, for them to have a competent team. And I don't know how you justify putting Bryce Young back on that field, especially even in the locker room. You know, people in the locker room in the NFL, why would you play this player when we just won a game and this quarterback is obviously better? Why are we playing him? That's not going to go over well in the locker room because NFL players want to win games. They want to compete. So I just don't know how you play Bryce Young confidently anymore in the season, and I think that's really bad, man. I was really invested in him. He's an Alabama quarterback. I love Bryce, but especially on the Panthers, I just don't think it's going to work anymore. So that's my takeaway from the game, and it was crazy to see. Like I thought the offense was going to look better, obviously, because Andy Dalton is a veteran, but 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, dog walked the Raiders, who I don't think is a great team or nothing like that, but you know. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And it wasn't just game management. He had one of them crazy throw over the middle of the field for a touchdown, which was nuts.
Yes.
It's Andy Dalton, bro. It's not Jeff Driscoll. This is Andy Dalton. Like he played high level football in his league. Like he could make those throws.
He did. He looked bad. And he looked like he was like on the Saints his last time he was on the Saints though.
I mean, Chicago didn't look that great in Chicago. Actually, I can't even remember that year. I think Dalton got hurt, and then that's when Fields like showed some flashes and then took over the job. But yeah, I mean, it's tough for Bryce. I mean, obviously, they gave up so much for him. I mean, we fleeced. I'm not gonna lie, this was.
Did y'all? Because Caleb, I don't know. I don't know yet.
Imagine saying that 3 games in off of a 300 yard.
Even if Caleb is a bust, even if Caleb is a bust, they still made out like bandits with that trade. Still,
probably. Literally, and Caleb's like far from a bust, like far from it, bro. Like
he was all right today.
He was. I would go as far as say he was pretty good, bro.
No, he wasn't.
It looked pretty good to me.
3 turnovers, it can't be pretty good.
The fumble wasn't his fault.
His pocket presence was terrible on that play. I understand Cole Kmet should have been blocking. Who was that?
I forgot. I have to go.
Oh, Latu? Yeah, he shouldn't have been blocking Latu, but like, damn.
I can't even really remember picks, honestly.
One of the pick was bad, and one of the pick Rome probably should have either caught it or it should have been a drop, and the DB made a good play.
Yeah. Yep. I know exactly. I remember it now. Ravens survived the Cowboys. Honestly, I can't even remember too much of this game. I remember Turner's gone, and then it was just dog walking the Cowboys 28-6.
Ravens went up big. Then they did what Ravens always do. Can't hold on to a lead. Cowboys, they always do. Come back late. It got pretty spooky the last 2.5 minutes. Ravens literally could have lost that game. John Harbaugh, he got to go back to the drawing board. He lost his little juice as a coach. He losing me.
You think he's on a hot seat?
Not the hot seat, because like the Ravens, they don't operate like that. But like if they would have went 0-3, that would have led to like a 1-8. Then he was definitely getting fired. But like at the end of the season, but if they go like 8-9, if they would have went like 8-9, he would have still had his job. They played for their season today. Like 0-3, you're definitely, if they would have went 0-3, they would have had to win 11 of the next 14 games to even make the playoffs. Going 11 of 15 is a lot easier. Like I said, they have a hard schedule, but they're good enough to win hard, like tough games, like 50-50 games for a good team like that with a top 5 quarterback should be more like 70-30. Who much about to die? But yeah, they play for their season. For the Cowboys, I don't think it was a must win. Like I know they probably wish they would have won the game, but due to the NFC East itself, not just the NFC as a whole, but just their division itself is not like a tough division to win. They got 4 wins, like I said, against the Giants and the Commanders that they're gonna get regardless. They see the Panthers, they see the Bucks. They're gonna get easy wins on the schedule, so it's not like pressure for them to get this win. This win was more for morale than anything else. But this was all about the Ravens. They need this win more than anybody, and they got it. However they got it, however close it may be, because the next couple games going to be super tough. They need some type of something high on to go, deal with that stretch. The Cowboys, they're fine. Next 8 games, they're probably going to go 5-3, be right in the middle of the playoff race, and it's going to be nothing really much to talk about until they get to the playoffs. And we go all rag on the Cowboys like everybody do, on a regular basis.
I mean, as far as the Cowboys, it looked like the same old Cowboys to me would have a few games throughout the entire season where they just look soft and they get bullied and they're able to get ran on. We didn't talk about them last week with the Saints, but that game was terrible for them. They've shown me nothing for me to be higher on them when it really matters in the playoffs. They'll be fine in the regular season. They'll win about 9, 10 games, maybe 11, maybe not this season, 11. And then when the playoff comes in the first round, they're going to lose. I don't have any hope for them outside of that. I think people that do have them as anything outside of a first round exit or a division round exit is delusional. This team is talented, but I think come playoff time, if CD's not in the groove and teams are doubling him and blanketing him, it's going to be hard for this offense to move with a lackluster running game. And on defense, they're able to be compromised by running on them. So as far as the season outlook, it's going to be same old. There's nothing real. They haven't got better, to be honest. It's the same things last year. But I think they did show some fight, though, because they came out looking really soft, and the Ravens were dominating them on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And then they showed some fight at the end. So I guess for morale purposes, you can say that was they have some cause to be optimistic, I guess, because they came back. They made it a game. They showed some heart. So I guess you can take that home to that locker room, I guess. I don't know. But for me, it's same old Cowboys, to be honest.
I saw that you took away the 2-minute drill. I just wanted to point out one performance today. Justin Fields, he had an okay showing. Just kind of wanted to point that out. I feel like this was the first game. Obviously, the defense is gonna play great, but I feel like this was the first game where he actually did something. You couldn't just chalk it up to the defense just going out and winning the game for him. Obviously, I still think he has the issue of staring down the read a little bit. I feel like the protection was actually pretty good for him today. I mean, he was I forgot who he was looking at, but he was on the right side of the field and he was literally looking down the read, waiting for it to get open, and it didn't get open, but he still had time and he looked to his left and made a play. Obviously he had that he had some throws in the middle of the field. Was kind of avoiding that the first 2 games. Obviously, you go against the Falcons and you have that safety duo. So it's kind of hard to do that. But I feel like today he kind of had a pretty good game. He's probably going to take over that starting spot from Russ. But
yeah, I don't know. Russ might be cooked. I ain't gonna lie. We do our 2-minute joke, Jaden. That was good.
They gave him they promised him a starting spot. I mean, that has to go. That has to go far. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know. You can't really just take promises back. But I mean,
you gotta think about it though. Like I said earlier, how are you gonna tell people in this locker room after going 3-0, we're gonna bitch the quarterback that got us 3-0?
but I don't think he got you to 3-0.
Obviously, yeah, he ain't the driving force, nothing like that. But he's played well though. Like he's played fine.
He's played okay. He's
no vet in a locker room is gonna be for putting Fields on the bench and then putting in Russ when he hasn't done anything for them, but they know Fields has went on the field and produced, and they haven't lost because of him. Like they haven't lost any game or been in danger of losing any game because of Justin Fields or his play.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's done I feel like he's done a good job.
Has he even given the ball up yet? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's done a good job in not putting the ball in harm's way.
I got one pick
Today?
I think it was against the Falcons.
Nah, he ain't turned the ball over against the Falcons.
Oh, he turned the ball over today against the Chargers. Yeah.
I think it was like some goofy, like the ball got hit up and like I think it was goofy, though.
Regardless, it's much better than where he would have been at last year. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he had a pick today.
Just ride that. You're 3-0.
My 2-minute drill notable performance was going to be the Eagles as a whole. This is my Super Bowl, not pick, but I picked them to be in the Super Bowl. Defense stepped up really, really well today. I think the Eagles are a Super Bowl caliber team if Jalen Hurts can step up and elevate and just be a top 10, top 12 quarterback. That's all I need him to be. If he can,
top 7 stuff is cooked, bro.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. All I need him to do is not put the ball in harm's way, not give the game to another team. This defense got maligned through the first 2 weeks, and they just stopped the greatest show on turf. They just stopped listen. The Saints' offense was on a historical track record the first 2 weeks of the season, and the Eagles shut them down.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. The Eagles didn't do anything impressive at all today. Like
they generated a lot of pressure, and they stopped the run.
Their defense wasn't that spectacular today. Like
they held the best offense in the league. So up until this point, 12 points.
The result doesn't mean the process was correct. Just because they got to the right the right answer doesn't mean like what they did was proper. Like it was more on what the Saints were doing than it was the Eagles doing anything. Derek Carr literally took a lot of sacks and did a lot of things that he did not need to do. Like he just was running into sacks. He was running into pressure. He was doing a whole lot of nonsense. Like it wasn't really like the Eagles doing anything super specific. Like it was pretty bland. And then at the end, talent prevailed. It wasn't really anything that the Eagles did, and it wasn't anything that the Saints did. The Saints just did what they were supposed to be doing, and the Eagles just was there, right place, right time. And then on offense, when they needed to, their best players showed up. Not Jalen Hurts stuff.
Hey, listen, they're gonna need Jalen Hurts to elevate from what he's doing right now if they want to actually compete for a Super Bowl, and I think they can do it. But Nick Sirianni still has some issues as a head coach. He's not good. But Kellen Moore is a much bigger improvement than Brian Johnson, clearly so far. Vic Fangio, again, held the best offense in the league, 12 points. They got to the quarterback a lot in his game. They stopped the run, which was an issue for them through the first 2 weeks of the season. So they're, things are looking on the up and up for them, man. They're also 2-1. Lost on the last some weak shit in week 2. Also, that was just another coaching mistake. Nick Sirianni just should have ran the ball. But I'm a little bit more confident in them to go for it this season, and I think defense. They got some growing pains for sure, but they hopefully they get better every week from my agenda. Q, you got anything?
My notable performance would be Derrick Henry. Vintage Derrick Henry game, 174 total yards, 2 touchdowns, 25 carries, 1 catch on the screen. Pretty good. The best game he's had so far as a Raven. They finally using him in the run game, which was to be expected. They're going up against a team that can't stop the run. You got Derrick Henry. What else are you going to do with him in the backfield? You're going to run the ball. I think they kind of found something. I feel like they should lean on this for the rest of the season. This is just a good start.
I agree, man. They said that they weren't looking to give him 30 carries. If not 30, bro, 29, bro. What's the point of getting somebody like Derrick Henry and not running him? It just makes
he was not looking good in the first 2 weeks. So, yeah.
That wasn't a him thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's end the episode with this trivia. We got guess the colleges NFL edition. I don't know if we ever did this before. I don't think we have. Where did this go? Oh, guess the NFL team. All right, cool. This first one. Well, the first one definitely. Well, one of them is gonna be definitely easy. But guess the NFL team based on where their players went to college.
Raiders.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's the Raiders.
This is the Raiders.
That's Gardner Minshew at quarterback.
Yep.
Tight end is obviously Brock Bowers. Running back Zamir White went to Georgia. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The tight end gave it up for me.
I'm not gonna lie. That is not supposed to say Florida wide receiver. It's not.
I'm gonna say Devontae Adams went to Fresno State.
Fresno State. It's supposed to say Fresno State for Devontae Adams, and the other one is Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
The tight end and QB gave it up.
Wide receiver is Devontae Adams, and the other wide receiver is Jacoby Myers. My bad. I forgot to change it from this slide. Oh yeah.
Oh, Steelers.
This is the Steelers. QB.
Oh yeah, Najee Harris went to Alabama.
Yep. QB Justin Fields. Tight end is. Bro, Pat Firemove. I messed it up. Tight end
probably got Darnell Washington as a.
No. The wide receiver is supposed to be the tight end is supposed to be Penn State, and the wide receiver is supposed to be Georgia. It's flipped. George Pickens. Yeah. Anyways, tight end is Pat Firemove. Wide receiver is George Pickens. Quarterback Justin Fields. Wide receiver Van Jefferson. Running back Najee Harris. I'll fix it on the slide, whatever. But that's it for the episode, man.
All right. Good episode. I'm assuming this is gonna come out before Bear Witness, so if you're watching this, make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in for Bear Witness. If you haven't subscribed, all the socials are at the top. Make sure you guys tune in. Coming out with great content. Basketball is about to start soon, so we're gonna be getting some basketball content out. Yeah, I feel like this is a really exciting part of the year because football season is gonna start ramping up, and then some storylines and basketball is gonna start happening. So if you're not tuned into the podcast now, make sure you guys tune in because a lot of fun stuff is gonna come up. But
we need to record that basketball video on Tuesday, bro. Well, we're doing an Eastern Conference preview, and then we can just do that shit afterwards if we have time.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for watching, and we're out.